the best advice for women in business. Get your fucking ass up and work. It seems like nobody wants to work these days.
The Kardashians are probably the most influential people in the world. In many ways good and in many ways bad. With multi-billion-dollar business ventures, brand deals and sponsorships, they are at a level of influence and impact on our culture unlike any other celebrity. Vast wealth, high beauty standards and materialism are key driving factors that fuel this family. Collectively, the family have over 1.2 billion followers on Instagram, and this all began in 2007 with a new E-series called Keeping Up with the Kardashians. So Keeping Up with the Kardashians first aired on the E! Network on October 14th, 2007. Its original premise mostly came from Ryan Seacrest, who served as executive producer of the show. The series focused mainly on sisters Kim, Kourtney and Khloe Kardashian and their half-sisters Kendall and Kylie Jenner. It also features their parents Kris and Caitlyn Jenner, formerly Bruce Jenner, and brother Rob. It went on to go on for 14 long years, making it the longest running reality TV show in US history. This show introduced to the world the idea of being famous for being famous. Although not critically well received, it has attracted consistent high viewership ratings and has won many awards throughout its lifespan. In 2002, the show was bought by Hulu and rebranded as The Kardashians, which aired in April of 2022. It was the highest premiere episode that Hulu had in its streaming history. Of course, like any show that does well, they have many spin-offs throughout the years. So the original kind of idea came about with the show when Kris expressed kind of having interest in having her family filmed. Now I think it's important to note as well, like the family before the show aired was a very well-off family. These were not people that struggled. These aren't people that needed the show to maintain some sort of vast wealth, although the show would go on to make them billions. This is not how it began. Culturally, the Kardashians have had a huge impact, not just in America but in the world. Like everyone who knows who they are, it's pretty impossible to escape their Kardashians. Even if you don't watch the show, they are literally everywhere. They're on billboards, they're on TV ads, they're on Instagram, they're on TikTok. Even the older generations will know they're Kardashians. And the reason for this is because of Robert Kardashian, who was the father of Kourtney, Kimberly and Khloe, was famously the defense attorney for O.J. Simpson, who was famously found not guilty for the murder of his ex-wife and her boyfriend. A few years later, Robert would divorce from his wife Kris, and she would go on to marry Bruce, who would then have Kendall and Kylie. Now Bruce has since transitioned into Caitlyn Jenner and has had her own spin-off show as well, which has been vastly successful too. It wouldn't be until 2007, just coincidentally before the first episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians aired, a sex tape between Kim and her former boyfriend, rapper Ray J, was apparently leaked. Now, Ray J has since stated that he and Kim had talked about possibly releasing the sex tape, and Kris agreed with this sentiment. Kim and Kris have both vigorously denied these claims, stating that it was a leak and that they did not orchestrate this at all. Now, many people tend to be on the side of that it was purposely leaked to gain attention, considering it was leaked months before the actual show aired and gave the show a huge amount more attention than it probably would have got before that. So since the show has started, the family has created a multi-billion-dollar beauty, fashion and media empire. They have mastered their influencer metrics as well as capitalistic greed that has brought them millions. Every one of them has countless brand deals, business and TV deals that will continue to make these guys countless money. They have a power and influence unlike any other celebrity, and they are well aware of it, and they have mastered the idea of being famous for the sake of being famous. So, how much money do their Kardashians have? Well, as of July 2021, Kim Kardashian has an estimated worth of $1.4 billion. I'll say that again, $1.4 billion fucking dollars. She is also then followed by her youngest sister Kylie, who has a staggering $700 million, while her mom Kris has a net worth of $200 million, Kourtney is $65 million, Khloe has $50 million, followed by Kendall, who is $45 million. Yeah, and then there's a part of your brain that thinks, oh, Kendall only has $45 million, and then you have to remind yourself it's $45 fucking million. In fact, there's many reports of the Kardashians being paid millions just to post a photo of particular brands on their Instagram. So there's many reasons I would suggest that they are more of a curse on our society than they are anything else. So one reason is the beauty standards that they have created in our society on young women in particular. They now represent shallow cores and external values that don't really add much culturally or to people's lives. The beauty standards that they have set are not only toxic, but they are harmful. They have all had work done over the years. They've all had surgeries to enhance how they look externally, but yet they continue to sell beauty products that they claim helps them to maintain their supposed natural beauty, and young people fall for it. You can't really blame young people for this because young people are inexperienced, they're easily manipulated, and the Kardashians take advantage of the insecurities of these young people, and it makes them more money, and that's what the bottom line is for them at the end of the day. They all have vast wealth and businesses to maintain, and they have profit margins to reach. So they're not doing it to help everyone look pretty. Like, they're setting standards that are not attainable, and all it's going to do is create more mental health issues for these young people. We're basically being told that the only way to find any sort of happiness is to externally change how you look, which is the most shallow, wrong way of thinking about life, and all that's going to do is just make these women depressed. Now, Kim herself has her own skin brand called Skin by Kim, where she sells cleansers, toners, eye cream, face cream, the list goes on. Her name being on these products pretty much guarantees profits without any doubt, because people want to look like her and they think buying these products will achieve that look that she has, despite the fact that the majority of what you see of Kim Kardashian has been altered through cosmetic surgery and through Photoshop. There actually is a term called the Kim Kardashian effect, which is an unofficial term for the rise of number of young people that are seeking non-invasive plastic surgery treatments in America. Beverly Hills surgeon Andrew Orden says that there's little doubt that the Kardashians as a group have influenced cosmetic trends more than any other group in recent times. He's quoted as saying that influence goes across the board: cosmetics, skincare, fillers, Botox, cosmetic and plastic surgery. Another thing to note as well is the vast differences between how the sisters and the family looked before they were famous and how they are now. If you look at the before and after photos, especially of Kylie and Khloe in particular, you can see vast differences in their physique, in their facial structure, in their lips. Like, you can see that they've completely altered how they look to achieve a level of beauty standards that they didn't have themselves. And the reason why I would find this disingenuous is because, for example, Kylie admitted to having lip filler. There was an increase in filler requests in the UK in the cosmetic industry because people were requesting to look like Kylie. Kylie has her own makeup line called Kylie Cosmetics, which generated $420 million in retail sales in its first 18 months and eventually made her a billionaire status, which she would go on to lose. Again, like with Kim and her skincare range, promoting beauty standards that they have not achieved themselves naturally and convincing young people that they can achieve these standards through their makeup line is again disingenuous, it's morally wrong, and I think it's pretty disgusting. To manipulate young people to make profits will always be disgusting, and the Kardashians do this quite openly, and it's quite evident based off the profit margins they achieve through their cosmetic sales. Because of the increase of women looking to look like Kylie or Kim, for example, it causes a negative mental health effect on these women who can achieve this look. It sends this message that to be happy is to be pretty, and it's shallow. Like, we all want to be attractive, we all want to look well externally, but the idea that we need to get these procedures done, that the only way to feel happy is to look a certain way, a certain standard that they have set in the industry, that they have set culturally, especially in the States, without really being fully open about how they've achieved these things through surgery, I think is very disingenuous, and it really kind of promotes the idea of glamorizing fame, of wealth, of overconsumption, that are external things that will not give you the happiness that you think it will. Besides the beauty standards, kind of what other things have they kind of done that have been a bit, let's just say, off? In April 2017, Kendall would face huge backlash when she would be part of a Pepsi commercial that was protest themed, and a lot of people found this very kind of trivializing of the social movement such as Black Lives Matter in an attempt to sell Pepsi, which, to be honest, was fairly obvious considering during this time we had the Black Lives Matter movement, and then all of a sudden you have an ad from Pepsi like showing protests and trying to use the ideology of protests in people's minds to sell Pepsi, which is pretty disgusting. Of course, Kendall will come out and admit that her intention was not to hurt anyone. I think her intention was to get paid a lot of money, and she did get paid a lot of money for doing so, I should add. Or who can forget Kim's 40th birthday getaway? During the pandemic, the times were rough. We had lockdowns, people were struggling to pay bills, people were dying left, right and centre, people couldn't pay their rent. Well, here it comes along Kim and her family as they share photos of themselves in a private island during the pandemic. Ironically, they didn't seem to realise that the effect of showing their millions and millions of followers who are struggling every single day to pay the bills, or trying not to get sick because they have family members who are immune deficient or have other sort of illnesses that COVID could see them out. And it's quite disgusting, and it just goes to show how narcissistic the Kardashians are, that they don't see how posting something like that could be so wrong and disgusting. In March of this year, Kim said that when she was giving advice about women in business, she was quoted saying,
"I have the best advice for women in business. Get your fucking ass up and work. It seems like nobody wants to work these days.
Totally undermining the fact that she herself has grew up in fast wealth. She had money and capital used for venture to create businesses. Like most people that are struggling can't get loans to start a business. Most people can barely pay their electricity bill, and this bitch thinks that if the problem with women in society is they don't want to work. Like, how out of fucking sync can you be? Like, it really goes to show that the cultural difference between the super wealthy and the rest of us, like, it's at a level that is ridiculous. That being said, after everything I've talked about, why do people like watching the Kardashians? Although the Kardashians live like vastly different to the rest of us, they're a family like anyone else, you know. They go through heartbreak, they go through loss, death, petty arguments, like we all do. So despite their kind of vast wealth and luxury, there is some relatability there that connects with people. That being said though, why do people care? Like, social media has created a new level of ego and narcissism that is at a level that we've never seen before. Social media is not a cause of it, it's more of a symptom of it. And people feed off their Kardashian lives, knowing their day-to-day life, feeling like they know them just as much as they know their own family. And it's a connection that the fans feel towards the Kardashians, and Kardashians don't feel that connection back because they don't know you, but you know them so personally, is strange. And it's a weird celebrity culture thing that's been going ever since we have the rise of internet. It's become very, very crazy. Another common reason why people like to watch, obviously, reality TV is a form of escapism, like taking a break from your own reality and problems to kind of focus on nonsensical ones you see in a show like the Kardashians. Like, other people, I would suggest, like to live vicariously through them. Like, they like to, you know, imagine what their life would be like if they were in the Kim Kardashian position, where they had vast wealth, where they had fast fame, because the show constantly glorifies the idea of fame and beauty and consumerism, and it tricks people into thinking that if they had that same fame, that same wealth, they would be happy, which isn't true. People just like to watch the show to mock it because it's so ridiculous and over the top, and their problems are so mundane and crazy compared to like what the rest of us have, that people just love to watch it for that reason too. And also, I think it's fair to know as well that a lot of people just find it to be like a guilty pleasure, like they get some sort of kick out of watching something that's as terrible as the Kardashians. Research from London School of Economics found that exposure to materialistic media and shows that glamorize fame, luxury and wealth accumulation bring about anti-welfare and materialistic sentiments. So 2 control groups of 487 adults in total were shown distinct media. One group was shown ads for luxury products and photos of rich celebrities, and others were shown more neutral images like public transport, a park, etc., etc. Participants who polled about the viewership of materialistic television programs such as Keeping Up the Kardashians found that regular viewers exhibited stronger materialistic and anti-welfare attitudes than lighter consumers of these shows. So watching shows that rely heavily on materialistic ideology tend to create viewers that become more selfish and more unsympathetic to people that are less fortunate. So the study effectively suggests that if you watch the Kardashians, it can actually make you a worse person. So, with all that being said, is there anything good that the Kardashians do for society? And believe it or not, there is a couple of things. Kim actually has advocated for justice reform in the criminal system in the United States many times. She has been assisted in helping several cases actually being overturned, including her most notable case to help pardon Alice Marie Johnson. The Kardashian appealed to former President Trump to help grant clemency to Johnson, who has been sentenced to life behind bars for a non-violent drug offence. She actually also apparently donates 10% of her earnings to charities each year, which, you know, she doesn't have to necessarily do that. The fact that she actually does actively donate to charity shows that she does have some sympathetic tendencies, and she's not as narcissistic as her media posts would suggest, as her show would suggest. So, to conclude, it's kind of a mixed bag really. Like, me personally, I would say if you like the show, watch it, enjoy it. There's nothing wrong with watching and enjoying it. I think the main thing to take away from this video is to remember not to compare your life to theirs, not to wish you had their lives or let them affect you in any sort of way. Like, find happiness in the real ways through love and friendship, not through money, not through external needs. The Kardashians are masters of their craft, and they will use their influence and their power to manipulate their audience into overconsumption and high beauty standards, and will continue to make money doing these things. If you're young, please just remember that the beauty standards that they have achieved through enhancement and their standard of beauty is not a standard that the world meets or the world agrees with. So find beauty in yourself, not them. There's nothing wrong with getting cosmetic surgery if that's what you want to do, but just think about how you can enhance your own beauty rather than trying to enhance yourself to look like one of them. So do I think the Kardashians are bad people? Well, I think they're aware of their influence and power, and they feed off it, and they know how to use it to increase their profit margins. They know how to use it to, stay relevant, because I believe that they do have narcissistic tendencies. I do believe that they like to have the limelight on them. The fact that after 14 years of the Keeping Up with the Kardashians, that they would start a new show that's the exact same premise with Hulu, would suggest that they need the cameras, they need the attention on them, and apparently I feel sorry for them for that reason, because they don't know how to live their lives without cameras on them. They don't know how to live their lives without people watching them. Do I personally believe that they are a curse on our society, or do I think they are a good thing? Well, overall I would say that the impact they have culturally is more negative, but I think it's every person's individual responsibility to just remember that these people are human, these people make mistakes, but they are not messiahs. They are not people that have figured life out. They are not people that can tell you how you can be happy. And it's up to you at the end of the day to take the advice you get from these people and really internalize what works best for you, and not let these people dictate how you need to live to be happy. So what do you guys think? Do you think the Kardashians are a gift? Do you think they're a curse? What do you agree with me on? What do you disagree with me on? Do you think I'm being fair? Do you think I'm being unfair? Do you think there's things that I hadn't thought of? Let me know in the comments below what you think of the Kardashians, and if they've impacted you in a good way, tell me why. As always, thanks so much for watching my videos. It is always very much appreciated, like I'll keep saying. And anyone that makes it to the end of the video, thank you for getting to the end. It's great, isn't it? It's great to be here. You can see my face now, isn't that nice? And every share and like and subscription really does mean the world to me. I've been doing this now about a year, and I've gathered quite a good bit of attention, a lot more than I ever expected. So I am genuinely, and I always say this in my videos, very appreciative of anyone that is willing to sit here and listen to me shout on about things. My opinion doesn't mean any more than anyone else's, but I appreciate anyone that is willing to listen to it and tell me why I'm wrong. So thanks so much guys for watching. I will see you in the next video. This will be my last video before Christmas, so if you celebrate Christmas, happy Christmas. Hope you and your loved ones have a great Christmas. Enjoy the food, enjoy the drink, and enjoy spending time with your family. We've all had a rough couple of years, so make the most of it. And I will be back, don't you worry, I'll be back with more videos in the new year, if not before that, probably the new year. So thanks so much guys for watching. Peace out as always. I will see you in the next video. 2023, many more videos to come. Bye.